We're talking with Robert Thawley outside the Bank of America on Valentine's Day 2012. We're breaking up with Bank of America.
Correct.
We're going in, taking our money out. What was the reason, the main reason that you wanted to participate?
Working with Occupy Bernal,
yeah,
and trying to prevent the foreclosure of our neighbors' homes. But you know, I came down here to try and empower people to take their money out of their bank and to invest in the community and community banking, and to, you know, not contribute to the degradation of the environment, to predatory and exclusionary lending practices that these banks, B of A, Wells Fargo, all the big corporate banks are deeply involved in, and that are destroying our communities and the fabric of our economy. The predatory lending practices through foreclosing in you know, a bulk and, you know, unprincipled way in communities throughout the United States, but, you know, very strongly in our neighborhoods, in the Bayview, in Bernal where I live, in the Excelsior, you know, and taking people out of their homes. You know, I live in a really city that I love. I mean, a place that is wonderful and diverse and multicultural, and that's being stolen from us by these banks, by, you know, people in power with wealth who are really trying to amass more wealth and not, you know, not look out for their communities, right? The places where they live, they're sucking money out of it and leeching the vibrancy. I have a 15-year-old son. He's, you know, he goes to School of the Arts. He's an amazing kid. He has a crazy, wonderful, eclectic group of friends around him, and, you know, a lot of those families are, you know, struggling, and it's important that they be able to stay in this city and that we don't sacrifice them for, you know, the mere monetary gain of a handful of people who aren't really contributing. Predominantly right now my activism is with Occupy Bernal. We're fighting the foreclosure of, well, 6 families now actively in our neighborhood. Trying to negotiate primarily with Wells Fargo for principal reduction, for, you know, for a reasonable accommodation to keep people in their homes. It's good business for them, right? Maybe not as good as if they, you know, took it from them. We're trying to pressure Wells Fargo and pressure a moratorium in general on all foreclosures. Principal reduction, you know, the things that are going to keep this community safe, vibrant, you know, going to keep people in their homes, right, and in general contribute to the good and the benefit of all, right? Mm-hmm. I do a lot of work with the homeless. I do a lot of work with, you know, people struggling with addiction and HIV. I work at General. That's my paying gig primarily. I do research coordination at the Positive Health Program. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I see it on the street. You can see it right here in the Tenderloin. You know, we're in the heart of the Tenderloin. You know, great wealth downtown, but, you know, people struggling homeless on the streets, and that doesn't have to be. There's plenty of wealth for everybody to go around.
It isn't just the Bank of America. All these banks, Wells Fargo, didn't you say you pulled your money out of the bank recently?
Yeah, Chase, you know, who's also guilty of predatory practices and, you know, bad investments just like B of A. Yeah, we've opened a community, just finally finished that, you know, community banking, community credit unions, moved our money into that.
What would you like to see people do?
The first and primary step is to put pressure on the bank. Let them know how disgusted you are by these practices. Let them know that, you know, you can take power into your own hands and take money out of this. Invest in community credit unions that give loans into the community, that don't engage in these kind of predatory practices, that don't engage in bad investments that degrade our environment and degrade the social fabric of our city and the social fabric of our entire country.
We don't have to be passive. These banks are not all powerful. There's tremendous power in just taking your money out of these banks. Bank of America is taking a big hit right now on this. They're losing money. It is working.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for your work.
You're welcome.
It's very important. And thanks for talking with us today.